Well, Keith, thanks so much for sitting down and taking the time to talk to us today. It's a pleasure, sir. A real pleasure to speak to you. Now, we've had a good chat already, but we're going to go back and talk about some of the things that we had a chat with. First of all, can you just tell us about where you grew up and where you were born? Is an interesting story.
I was born in a blue village called Malton, just 3 or 4 miles from Northampton.
And you were born in a pretty special building.
I was born in a public house, the Bluebell.
The Bluebell. And but you're not much of a drinker, are you now? You're not much of a drinker.
No.
Yeah. So your family, did the family run the pub?
No, just our friends there. And we lived in there, in the pub.
Okay.
Whether we shared a flat or rooms, I don't know.
Right.
But all I know is I was born in the Bluebell.
So what was your childhood like? What fond memories do you have of your childhood?
Well, I started school there at Malton when I was 5. And I always remember every afternoon we had a little rush mat and we had to go to sleep for about an hour on this mat. And then when we woke up, we had a little mould of Horlicks. And on one was a diagram of Hickory Dickory Dock. That's what I remember.
And what did your father do for work?
My father worked at the British Shoe Corporation, Northampton, Boone Shoe.
And then you went into that same work?
Well, I went to the same when I left school, and I was there for 50 years.
How old were you when you left school?
14.
14. And was that the normal age that people...
Yeah, that was the normal age then. I was 14 on the September as the war broke out.
Oh, same month. Okay. Now, you had a brother who was older than you, didn't you?
He was 2 years old and he was a sailor.
So
also he worked at the Booting Shoe. In fact, in that time of year, it was only Booting Shoe in Northampton. It's all Booting Shoe.
Right.
Nothing else, no engineering, nothing.
So everybody you knew worked in the same...
Everybody families was in Booting Shoe.
Right, okay. When did your brother join up? When did he join the services? When did he enlist or get drafted, your brother?
No, he enlisted as well.
And how old was he when he did that?
I'll say he was in the perhaps 18, something. 18 plus.
So did your father ever serve in the military?
My father, yes, he was in the army, the Great War. And he finished up as Sergeant Major.
Really?
Yeah.
What was, do you know what regiment he was in?
I know he was in I think it said, remember, the Dorsets, is it?
Right.
And another one.
So he would have been in the trenches?
Yes, yeah. I know he was a Sergeant Major.
Did he ever speak about it?
No, nothing at all. Very, very, very rare, no.
So when you were a child, what was your when you were a child, when you were growing up, what was your feelings towards Britain as a country and king and country and all of these things that people talk about, when they talk about the army, people serving king and country. Did you have a strong sense of patriotism?
I did, yes. This is why I enlisted as well.
So you chose to enlist, it was a choice?
I did, yes. I was 17, 4 months.
Did you join up with any friends at the time, or was it just yourself?
No, just on my own. In fact, when I joined up, the morning I went to Portsmouth, I had the Castle Station to get the train to go to London first. There was another young chap stood on his own. Of course, we got talking, and he was going to Eastern Barracks.
Right.
And as well.
And that
he came from Kettering.
And that was for the Royal Marines?
Yeah, he was I didn't know, yeah, but we same squad.
Wow.
You got called the same as me.
Right.
When we got to Portsmouth, yes, we were both the same.
So why did you choose the Royal Marines?
Well, to me, they always looked disciplined, smart, clean, everything. And not only that, Our motto was per mare per taro. That means by sea, by land. And that's what I chose to do.
And so when you went to enlist, did you was there like a built an office that you went into where you had different choices of things that you could
And
do?
when I went down to the medical, it was an old picture place in Far Cotton, and they had it done over to a medical centre. And me, I wanted to go on to the sea service. I had a bit more examination, eyesight, ears, and everything.
Okay. And what about your friends from school and from the village? Were they joining up and serving as well?
Yes, well, I think I will, yeah. I did.
Yeah.
Once I left school, I just didn't see no more, hardly no more.
Right. So when your brother, your brother's 2 years older than you, is he sending you letters back home at the time, letting you know what life in the service
Yes,
is
we've
like?
been over quite a few letters. I think my daughter's got one letter now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's got one there, and he's got a drawing on the back of it with 2 pints of beer. He drew two pints of beer up.
So when you told me earlier, I asked you about your experiences of the Blitz, and you were telling me about the first time you have experienced getting bombed. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, I know the first night we were there, we had a terrible bombing raid. I think I bombing the docks. And what made it worse was the terrible scream as the bombers came down. They got something fitted to the fins, and I've said it before, they gave a screaming noise coming down.
And you were telling me about the London boys who'd experienced this thing before. The London boys that were in the barracks with you.
Oh yes, was up there when the bombs started coming down. The London boys had gone. We were sitting up in bed. We didn't know what to do. Yeah, but they'd gone.
And did that happen quite often while you were in Portsmouth?
That happened quite often, yeah. But we seen what they done.
Did you? So you got used to it. I mean, you must have done.
Yeah, we done what they did.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about your training, Keith. What were the kind of things that they had you doing in training then?
In training, for the first 9 weeks, we had a recruits parade, a small parade, and that was all different march off in white lines with different drills we had to do, steps and forward, things like that. Then after 9 weeks, we had it on to the big main parade, which was to us, that was sacred. And I think it was all frightened to go on that one.
Why was that?
Well, you had several of these, 2 or 3 of these, for what they call first drills. They had sergeant major drills, and then they put you through it. Yeah.
What's the importance of drill for a Royal Marine? Why do they make you do so much of it?
Well, what it is, you do things, but they ask you questions. If you was asked to do it, you done it. You'd never ask questions. You always gave that little bit extra as well.
So, and you were saying as well, there's a term in the military for things like drill called bullshit, right?
Yes.
And you were saying you quite enjoyed it.
Yes, but I also love it. I know one of the sergeant major drill instructors, he pulled me to one side one day and he said, he advised him what to do. So get on the table in your barracks and get a box of matches, and you can drill a box of matches. He showed me what to do and how to do it. And I spent hours doing that, which at the end it proved a good point.
And what did the other men in your platoon, in your section, what did the other men think of you doing all this extra drill?
Well, I think I just took it all in good part. Yeah. That's why they done it there. And I didn't know when we was doing recruits, they kept picking the same people out, like myself, to do certain things. Like taking sections, say about 8 reeds and do something. Or in the field drill or anything. And they kept having the same 6 people all the while. Then when we went to the main parade, then they told us then what I'd been doing. And I picked the 6-8, and we had a little red diamond sewed on our tunic, which made number 1 diamond, 2 diamonds. That was in seniority, as it were, and I was number 1.
So the more diamonds you had, the more senior you were.
Yes, that's it, I was number 1.
Okay. So when you were in training with these other young men, you were all about, what, 17 were you? Or?
Yes, they were. It was all my squad was in the 18 mark, in that area.
Right. And what was it like for you having this first experience away from home with these other young lads?
Oh, nothing at all, no.
Was it enjoyable though?
Yes, I just took it normal.
Right.
I know the after one week training we had in the field drill, the captain of the Marines sent for me, the officer. He said, Keith, he called me Keith then. No, not Ray, Keith. He said, your men will follow you anywhere. I thought, well, that was very nice. He said, your men will follow you anywhere.
What after they taught you drill and that kind of thing, what are some of the other skills that they're teaching you during your training? Did they teach you medical skills and that kind of thing?
The medical schools are limited. Very, very limited.
Right. And what about weapon handling and that kind of thing?
Well, weapons, we'd done that when we was on the main parade. That's the last 11 weeks. We'd done that when they done machine gun, a 4-unit commander. I used to do four jeeps and 2 machine guns. And I could control those, place them round the field of fire and everything.
So you'd be like was that like for fire support?
Yes. And also I'd done that. I was only Marine then.
Right. Okay.
No NTO.
Right. Are you expected in the Royal Marines and at that time, even as a Marine, to be able to handle a lot of responsibility?
Yes. Yes.
Right. Okay. So. Sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
And I can remember then after we came back for Christmas, passed the duty, we had a week's leave. We came back and he said to me, the captain, would you like to be trained as drill instructor? Which I told him no. I just thought when you said I joined the Marines to go by sea and go by land. I told him what I joined for. Then just after that, about 2 weeks after, me and another Marine named Packham, we got a draft to go up to Scotland to meet the Ramillies, just 2 of us. So we had to go right up to Greenwich, Scotland, to get the ship.
So just before we get to the ship then, Keith, I just want to ask about, you've got a dagger on your blazer there.
Yes.
Tell us about the training you did.
The training that we done a lot of, see when you're a Royal Marine, that's 2, there's Royal Marine Commandos, which that's all they got now. They got no actual what we call sea service. But when we were there, I've done both. I've done the commando training, which I got the silver dagger, and then I've done the sea service as well.
And you said you quite enjoyed doing the dagger training.
Yeah. You could have the dagger, you could wear it where you wanted, on your sleeve, on your trousers. Well, I always had mine on the left shoulder. Right. I had a little leather strap there with a belt, leather belt, and mine was on my shoulder. You could have it where you wear it suited you best.
Right.
And I used to like that commando training, Because even with that training, you've done your own armed combat, everything with it.
So tell us about what you'd be doing then. How do they, like, what are the kind of things they're getting you to do in this stagger training? Are you learning to sneak up on people and all that?
Yes, so we learn how to create, from a rowing boat, anything onto shore, to get, if you see, after a century, how to tackle them down, how to make them go quiet, and then bring them back alive. Because once they're dead, they're no good to nobody.
So this was all, so the idea
So all this was in there, in the training.
and it was all, so the idea was to send these small little teams to the enemy coast,
Yes,
snatch the sentry,
yes,
and get them back. And that didn't happen then because of the invasion.
No, that didn't happen.
Okay, so tell us about the Ramillies. What was it like going on a ship, on board the ship for the first time?
I loved every minute of it. It was really happy ship. And when our ship came back from down from there was in the Pacific, came back, and they stopped in New Zealand. And when they stopped in New Zealand, made friends with there for about a fortnight. And one of the chief of the tribes gave our captain a grass skirt. I'd made a grass skirt for good luck.
Right.
And when D-Day came, our captain wore this grass skirt over his trousers. He wore the grass skirt. And then he toured all around the ship with showing everybody he got this grass skirt on, which could bring good luck, which he did.
Yeah. And so when you're at the ship then, it's a battleship, isn't it, the Ramillies?
Battleship.
So what's your job on board the Ramillies?
My main job was, or mostly job, was timekeeping. I was the call to the gangway. Right. That means when you was in a harbour or anywhere like that, when the gangplank was down the side, perfect on the wood ship, you had two sailors, a runner, and myself. You manned the ship with the officer of the deck. So if anybody left the ship or come on the ship, they had to come through you first, like. You're more like security and things like that.
So you provide the security for the ship,
Yes,
and you
yes,
and you also work in the turret as well.
That's it, yes.
So you had a lot of jobs.
Yes. So I was I had two action stations. One was in the turret, 15-inch. The next one was attack, because I was on the Ramillies. They had a special attack course for sailors and Marines combined. In fact, I come top of that.
So you've been top of training and top of the.
Yeah. So that little bit extra I gave.
Yeah.
I gave always that little bit extra, which it proved perfect. Yes, I came top of that, and I was an orderly gunner.
And that's anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah. On board our ship, the Ramillies, we had 23 of those. 23 orderly allocate guns alone.
So talk us through. So let's say you're lying in your bunk. Actually, can you first of all tell us what it's like living on the ship? Like, where are you sharing a room with other people? You know, where do you live? Where do you?
Well, the Royal Marines were lucky on board the big ships because you had the after deck, the quarter deck. That's the main part beyond the ship, the boarding part. That's where the officers' cabins were, because that's where they had the ballroom and everything. Next came to them was the Royal Marines. We had the next best. Sailors had more like anything at the front.
So why was the Royal Marines given the better?
Well, I don't know. It's perhaps in monumental tradition, but
Right.
split between the sailors and the officers.
Okay.
Perhaps some years ago.
Yeah, to look after the officers, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, between the two.
Right. That's very
As more as that's. Yeah.
And how many guys are you sharing a room with?
A room.
Oh, did you in your
had,
cabin? Sorry, in the cabin.
We had a hammock.
Oh, okay.
I had a hammock while I was on board the Ramillies.
And how many of you in a cabin with a hammock?
We didn't have a cabin.
Oh, so it's just one big
There
deck.
would be a hammock, and you slung it underneath from the bulkhead.
Right.
Well, you could.
Oh, okay.
You do it yourself.
Right.
You put it where you could get in.
Right.
Yeah.
So there'd be how many dozens of you in there? was
Yes,
there?
no, sometimes you're really as close to me as that. Stand there, next one, next
Right.
hammock.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it like sleeping in a hammock?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah.
Never had any trouble getting in that.
No, it's no, you got used to that.
Yeah.
Just have on rods over, get two hands, and draw yourself up, kick your legs in, and over you get.
Well, you've done rope climbing as part of your training, haven't you?
Yes, that's all in the S3 service training.
Right. So how strong and fit were you at this time? Did you have to be very fit to be a
Well,
rope?
you was fit. Oh, you was fit. I kept you fit as well.
And how would they keep you fit while you were at sea? Did you used to run around the ship?
No. In fact, we didn't have much, I say, at all on board ship. You was always doing gunnery training, you were doing things like that.
Right.
You was all doing more than things than that.
So you always kept busy.
You were doing bitty things, yeah. Right. That was you doing.
Yeah. So you were telling us about the 15-inch guns. Now there's one of those guns outside the Imperial War Museum, isn't there?
We had 8 15-inch guns, 8. We had 12 6-inch guns, 12 6-inch. Then you had 23 Ordicans, ack. Then you had numerous ordinary .4 pom-poms and everything as well.
And where did you do your gunnery training for all of this?
I done the most training. I started with sea service and Eastern Barracks. Right. They had a twin 15-inch toy there. That's where we done the big guns.
And what about where was the first time that you fired one of these guns?
Well, we fired the first.
Yeah, when was the first time that you were ever in a turret with these shells being used for real?
Well, we never fired. First time I fired it was during a scaffold trial just before D-Day. We done sea trials and gunnery trials. And that's the only time, that first time I actually fired a 15-inch.
So what's it like being in a turret the first time one of those guns goes off?
You are pending and you can't see nothing. But what you had a tannoy. But you had somebody talking nearly all the while I was in the turret. And then when we were doing bombardment, you had your own spotter plane. Just to come and give you different coordinates, where to shoot, where to fire. Was good line, good trainer.
So, sorry.
My place was next to the load, next to the firer who loads up the briefs, the cordite, then shell. And it's my job then, when it was shot, it's my job next to him is to make all the electrical points, make all those there, so the good guns can fire. Till I'd done all that, the guns were dead.
Okay.
So once I'd done it, they fired the shell, and all that black smoke you see come out, that was my job as well, to blow that out. Because then once that smoke came in the turret, it only cost minutes, you were all dead.
Right. So how do you get the smoke out?
Well, the air blast. So my job was interceptor and air blast. Right. So I'd done all the electrics, then I'd done the air blast as well. So when that smoke comes out, that's my job, to take it out.
And how many of you are in this turret?
How many
How many men in a turret?
About 8, I think.
And are you all shoulder to shoulder?
Yeah, 8, that's 2 guns.
Right. And how much room have you got to move in there?
A little bit more what you think, really.
Really? Okay.
You think from the outside you're closed in, but you always had a bit. We used to wear all, of course, white hoods and what they call anti-flash. And their shoes, we had canvas canvas shoes, called canvas slippers, and all the soles were made of rope, plastic rope soles, so you could get a spark. And I had a bronze knife on a lanyard on mine, in case you had a cordite bag broke, you got the knife there then, which didn't cause no sparks.
Right. So everything. So because usually people
Yes.
would have metal soles on their boots,
Yes.
would they usually?
So anything, yeah, you couldn't wear watch, you couldn't have nothing. Nothing metal at all inside.
So there sounds like there's a lot of thinking about the safety of
There
the
is,
gun.
there is.
Yeah. And who's in charge of the gun? Have you got an officer in there with you?
Oh, yes, always had a gun officer inside.
Okay.
It's in charge of the old turret.
And he'd be a Royal
inside.
Marine as well, would he?
Yeah.
So you're saying on these vessels then, there'd be one turret, X-turret would be Royal Marine,
X-turret, that's the Royal Marine turret.
and the others would be Royal Navy.
Yeah, and the rest of the three. See, the Royal Marines, in the night, then I'm talking about, because we had the biggest fleet in the world then, and the Royal Marines, they done the battleships, they done the aircraft carriers, and they'd always done the main cruisers. The Royal Marines is on there as well. Apart from that, there's nothing. So all they done was the big ships.
And like, did the Royal Marines and the Royal Navy sailors, did you get along well on the ship?
Yes, yeah, well, a lot of banter.
Right.
So if it's, I can remember when I first joined the ship, I went to go up the heads, what they call the heads, that's the toilets. We call them the heads. And that was up near the forecastle. And we had to go through part of some of the sailors' messes. And when you went through, they shouted, boot deck, boot deck, boot deck. That was their nickname. The Royal Marines, boot deck. So they shouted when you come back.
So when you go to the heads on these ships, is it just going straight out into the sea, or
Oh yeah.
have you just got a hole and then into the sea?
No, that was straight out, flushed out.
Yeah.
So salt water.
So, but you haven't got to go over the edge of the ship,
No.
you know. So when you were up in, I think was it Scapa Flow where you saw your brother's ship?
There's some scandal, yes.
so
I
you
was
tell
down
us
those
about-
heads out there. We used to go in there in 2 or 3 of the locks. And that's when my brother came up when I see his ship come in. Gaylock.
Can you tell us that story about that?
Yes, I was on doing the afternoon watch on board, and I see this destroyer come in into the lock, and it got 4 funnels. I knew straight away then it was one of the recent Lend destroyers, the American Lenders, because the Lend was 50 old, those old destroyers. And I said to my officer there, I said, my brother's on one of those. I told him the name of the ship. He said he went away, he came back and said, your brother's on that ship. He said, while I was there, I've arranged to take you the following morning when you finish your duties. But during the night, his ship was gone again. Gone.
So you never got a chance to meet up with him?
Never seen.
That's a shame, isn't it? I mean, but you know, the Navy at the time were all around the world, weren't they? So for you
Yes,
guys to be
yes,
so
oh, yeah.
close to each other must have been very strange. Was he involved in
Yes,
convoys?
Yes, I saw one submarine because it was in the local paper, our local paper. So the name of his ship, Charlie's Destroyer, and that was he was on board that ship. Yeah,
And what was he doing? Convoys across the Atlantic?
he did everything because with the destroyer, they're quick, they're fast, and like an old battleship, where you perhaps go somewhere, you stop for a few days. They don't. They're in, they're out.
So let's talk about the preparations for D-Day then. When did you know that the liberation of Europe or in the Northwest
When we
Europe was
started there, we was at Scapa Flow, we'd done SC training, we'd done gunnery training. Then we went back to Greenwich, and that was the end of May, nearly the end of May. We went back to Greenwich. That was only about a week before D-Day. And then we didn't know what was happening, but we kept these refueling up. The ship, these refueling barges came in, ammunition loaded up, the food, everything was loaded up. But we didn't know. We didn't know nothing at all. And then at Friday tea time, I still remember it, it was about 5 o'clock. And it was more or less our tea time. And then a bunch came over the tannoy. The captain's going to speak to you a bit later on. Of course, we went back down there for dinner, for tea, having our tea. Then the captain speaking, he said, now the time was here, it's the liberation of France is here. Liberation of France. We're on our way now to meet the rest of the naval force. So that was about, that was 5 o'clock. When he gave that, some of the Marines, they got their cups, they smashed against the bulkheads, they threw the cups, they smashed the lot. And I think that was the excitement, something's going to happen.
Is that tradition or is that just...
No, that was going to happen. Well, when we go down the Clyde, we had the last 2 or 3 weeks, we had an escort destroyer, Norwegian, called the Savannah. And that was our escort for about 3 weeks, kept with us. Well, when we was going down the Clyde to get to the Atlantic, to meet the rest of the fleet, this went by us very fast, and on their tannoy, they played Colonel Bogey.
Is that music? Is it?
But that music is the old blues words then. Something, we had enough of you. The B began with B. Something, we've had enough of you. And he played as he went by. But that gave a few more cheers.
Yeah. So everyone was in a good mood about
And then when we got round, we got down past the little island called the House of Craig. That's a little island, isn't it? That's not far from the outlet to the Atlantic. But when we got there, we saw all these warships there, everything. LCTs, landing craft, the lot. We thought, good God, we're not on our own. We got all this lot. And then the weather was terrible. It started raining fast, it gale winds, everything. And that was on the Sunday night. And then on the Monday, I spoke again, they said, it's been cancelled for a week, owing to the weather. Sorry, not for a week, for a day. It's been cancelled for 1 more day. It will be on the Tuesday the 6th, May the 6th. So what we done, they circled all the fleet round in circles round. Then after about a few hours, we all turned down south to go to the Channel. That was late Sunday, that was on Sunday. And then we walked down, we went to Portsmouth because that was their base. And those lot of ships went down to the south of the Isle of Wight. That was another big place, such an old place. And that was called Neptune then. That's where all the sailors, the fleet was going. You had different lines of where the ships were going. And you had to keep to those lines. Of course, we were Pompey. We had our own line, we went. That was about 1 o'clock in the morning, that was.
On June the 6th?
That was about on June the 6th, yes.
So when you're going down, it sounds like you're all very excited at first.
Oh yes, yeah. Especially when I smashed all the foot.
Yeah. And is that a Royal Navy tradition?
Well, it was the first time ever, wasn't it? The first time ever.
So it was just an excitement.
It was just exciting that, we're there.
Yeah. It's been a long wait.
Yeah, we're there.
And then as you're getting closer to France...
And then when we got to Portsmouth, we got there early again. And they come and sent for me, said, I want you to go and get dressed, get something clean, and come back here at a certain time. Come back to the Royal Marine Office, was there. So he didn't say what for, so I went back and put my blues on, what they call number 2s. That's your Royal Marines blues and everything. And I went to get changed. I went back out like he told me to. And now it's that the sailor's office wasn't far away, and I noticed there was 2 more sailors there, all waiting, all in there, nice sailors. Well, what happened was, he came and said, you've been picked to go on board another ship, another warship there, to meet a very VIP. I didn't tell who it was or nothing. So they got there one of the motorboats on their own ship and took us, about about 12 or 14 of us, Marines and 13 and sailors, got there, and it was I think it was the HMS Ramillies battleship. We went on board their ship, and who was on there to greet us? Montgomery.
So you met him?
I met him there. Yeah. And as we just sat on the bollard a little bit higher, not on the bollards. He sat there with his aides, the side of him. And when I got there, I was in the little tube, was walking slowly, and he stopped one or two. And when I got there, he put his hand up there. He tapped me on the berry, and he said, are you fighting fit, laddie? I still remember it. He called me laddie. Yeah, that's Jenny Scotch, isn't it? He said, are you fighting fit, laddie? I said, yes, sir, I am fighting fit. He said to me, splendid, splendid. That's what I like to hear. And then I went to his next aide. He gave me a paper, and it's from Eisenhower to say we are going to, this time is here now. And I see one of those in the British Museum in a glass case there, and I've got one.
So that message that all the troops got given on D-Day, you got that hand-delivered?
I've still got it. Yvonne got it.
You got the original?
Oh. She's got that. I kept that.
And you got it hand-delivered by Montgomery?
Pardon?
You got it hand-delivered?
Yes, yeah. Well, I didn't shake hands or nothing.
Yeah.
All he done is put his hand on my berry because he's a bit older than me. And he said, are you finding fit, laddie? Yeah. I said, yes, I am. I'm finding fit.
And he was something of a celebrity, I suppose, as well as, you know, as well as being a commander, you know, everybody knew him, didn't they?
They said he was turning all right.
Yeah. So when you got back to the ship then, was everyone asking you questions? Everybody wanted to know?
They did. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I said, boy, why did they pick you? Yeah.
Did they think that you were pulling
Because on board ship, there's over 1,000 people, you know.
Really? As many as that?
There's 103 Royal Marines, 103 Marines on board ship. The rest was, 900 odd was sailors.
So when you're now travelling down from Portsmouth down to the French coast, has the feeling changed? Is it still people very excited, or are you people starting to be a bit more, you know, worried? Maybe not worried is the right word, but, you know.
No, I think I'm still there.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever have any doubts about whether you'd be successful?
No, not at all. After seeing, when you see the fleet,
yeah.
I say fleet.
Yeah.
Good God.
And what was that? Was it just filled the
Yeah, it was, as far as you could see, was warships, or what I did feel sorry for was the soldiers, because none of the soldiers was already on their landing craft. So I did feel sorry for those.
Mm. And when you see all this, did you realise at the time that probably no one else will ever see anything like this again? Did you realise that?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Because, you know, since then, no one's seen anything like it, have they, that day?
Then I'll say after D-Day, during D-Day, that night we had to come back to bring ammunition again already. They worked all night on that for 15-inch shells. Then I think the following night we had to come back because we burned one of their 15-inch barrels out. They had to change one of the big gun barrels. And the dockers worked all night on that. It was back to France again.
So on the first night that you're going over to France, are you allowed to go on the deck and see what's kind of going on?
Sure, yeah. What you had, we had two standards. We had a standby and then stand two. Then you had action stations. The standby was you might be called in any time. Yeah? And make sure you got anything you've got to take with you, like me anti-flash and stuff. Make sure you got everything there. And stand two, you had to go to your turret or whether action stations you've got to go to.
So are you able to, did you see all the bombers coming over and all that kind of stuff?
We could see them, yes. But once you got in the turret, we couldn't see nothing.
Right.
There's only one thing, well, during D-Day, the white canvas which covers the barrel, what covers the barrel goes into the turret, it's covered big white tarmac canvas. I suppose you said other ships cover. Well, that got all blown away. Of course, that was all open then. We could see the beach, we could see everything in front of us.
So you could look through the barrel?
We could see the big gaps.
Right.
And I'm talking about big gaps of, say, 10 feet.
And where are these gaps in the turret? Are they next to the guns? Is it the gap is around the gun? Is it?
Oh yeah, yes. It's where the end of the gun barrel meets the breech, where they fire the gun.
Okay.
And that part there, the turret, because you say the turret, the gun to move over, they're all different angles. Right. So they got to have a certain major open, and that's covered by this canvas.
Right.
That got blown away.
Oh, just because it was being used so much.
And then while we were there, during the day, there's this Vedder, as I said earlier on, that air destroyer. The German torpedo boats came out, and for the tannoy said somebody carried 18 torpedoes. You know the weight, you actually carried the weight, the weight.
Yeah, so it's coming off the back. You can see
the
it in the water.
They carried 18, and just missed us. But one of them hit the Savannah and broke his back in two. And it went sunk down. All the crew went with it.
And you can remember someone shouting about that, can't you?
Yeah, all the crew went down the Savannah.
Yeah. And did you see any of that? Or were you in the turret at the time?
Well, for 2 or 3 days afterwards, the bodies floating up and down with the tide all the way. You know, say the tide took them off the beach, then the tide took them back in again.
And that's soldiers as well.
Yeah, I was trying to say everything.
Yeah.
All the time. Because on Sword Beach.
Right. And what was it? Can you?
We had at Sword Beach, then came Juno Beach. That was the Canadians. That was their beach. Then we had Gold Beach next. That was the English. Then we had Omaha. That was Americans. And then Utah. That was Americans. So we had 5 beaches.
So you're over at Sword.
Yes.
So can you talk us through when you started firing the guns? Those first moments.
They, according to the papers, the daily papers, the foreign papers, the Ramillies, we fired the first shot. We fired the first salvos. That was in the daily papers next day. Ramillies fired, airship fired the first salvos.
Okay, so when you start firing from, is it just non-stop then? It's one round
non-stop, non-stop. In fact, at the finish, you'd like a robot.
Right.
You'd like a robot. Well, I was, I know, because I had different switches, different controls and everything.
So you haven't got much time to think, it's just all automatic.
And what made it worse was, as I say, after a while, you had your blood coming from your nose, coming from your ears, running down the chest. One of their Marines there he had half of the toilet roll there. A good idea. We broke pieces off, screwed them up, and put them up their nose and then their ears. Yeah.
And that's all the defence you had against the
That's
noise.
all
There's a
we-
bit of toilet paper.
We had
in your
no earbuds and nothing.
ear. Right. And so you've got these 1-ton shells going off right next to you. So the pressure is just causing this blood to just come out,
Terrible,
you know?
terrible, yeah.
And you're all in the same state.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long do you alternate crews? Do you have different crews?
No,
There's only one crew.
No. That was your job, that was your crew, that you stood there. Whatever happened, you were there.
And that's going through from first thing in the morning all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through. We did have the little snacks or little bits, they came through what we called a kettle, like a metal tea. Just a tea, yeah.
And is that getting brought to you from the galley?
Yeah, you see, somebody brought him in. Because getting into the turret, you had to crawl underneath. You had no engines did you go in.
Really?
You had to crawl around, I'd say 2'6", that height. You could just crawl in and you go underneath.
Right. And you're talking about these flash hoods. So that's for in case there's an explosion, is it?
Yes.
So are you? It must be hot in these turrets.
It was hot. It was hot.
All right. So you're soaked through with sweat. You got blood
Well, it
running
was
out
hot.
your nose and ears.
It was hot.
You know, when all this is happening, then you must not have much time to think about what's going on with the invasion and things. You're just concentrating on your.
Well, you had to do, yeah.
Yeah.
Because one follows the other one. One couldn't work with the other one.
So it's what? So one man does his job. So you're in like almost like an assembly line in a way,
Yes.
kind of, you know.
Yes.
And then, are you getting any? Are you knowing what's?
Oh,
what's on?
We kept on this Talloy speaking, and then several times we had a spotter plane, as I said, and this spotter plane, the pilot, he spoke, we could hear him talking as well. I put him on.
Right.
And he said, one was foreign, he said there's a German convoy of tanks, the Panzer Division of armoured vehicles of tanks going into this wood. Going into this wood. He said, then we can't see no more. Gave us the coordinates. We fired salvo after salvo. Next thing he said, stop fire. There's no more wood there. No wood there now, it's gone. He said, all there is different fires in there.
So you're protecting the guys on the beach.
I think we must have saved hundreds of lives. We must have done.
Yeah, because if they'd have got to the beaches.
We must have saved hundreds of lives.
And so when all this is, sorry, thanks mate. Oh, thank you. Oh, so what we got here? Oh wow! Oh my gosh! So this is incredible. I'm gonna hold this up for the camera. These are your dog tags, Keith.
Pardon?
These are your dog tags, housemate.
20 years old.
Wow. Hey, still polished. Still well polished. Your collar dogs.
Oh yes, yes,
Oh, these are incredible. So these would be your dog tags,
yes.
and then we've got here your RM, Royal Marine, and your Global Laurels.
So if I didn't know, I could brought all them medallions I'd had.
Hey, we'll come
I've
back.
been presented with, yes.
And then this is incredible. The just put this here. This is the leaflet you were talking about.
Oh, that's the one. That's from miles an hour.
That is incredible. So I'll read it out. Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms and on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well trained, well equipped, and battle hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940 to 41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking. Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Again, isn't it?
How was
Worth keeping, isn't it?
Sorry?
Worth keeping.
That is worth keeping. How's
That's
that?
my Matt case.
He is.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
I ain't seen that for a long time. I ain't seen that for...
How does it feel hearing these words? And now, 81 years later.
Well, it makes me feel proud, really.
You should feel proud, Keith.
I've done something, yes.
You've
It makes me feel proud.
done something that most people will never do, and yeah, is it something you think about a lot?
Yes, yeah, I do. I do think a lot, yes.
And what are those feelings then when you think?
Well, I like to think about it a lot because this last 2 or 3 years I've had a lot of people I've met. I go to different places. Like we went to Portsmouth the other week. I laid a wreath there and met all civil people like that.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But also this medal, the Legion of Honour. That one there, the French Legion of Honour.
And you were given that by?
That there, that's cool. I had a letter from the War Office, and it said the French government. This is after this is 75 years after the war. That's 5 years ago, is it? But it's 80 now, isn't it?
6, yeah, 6.
So 75 years ago, I had a letter from the War Office saying that the French government were going to give three medals for the 75th anniversary. And these 3 medals will be presented by the French ambassador, but I've got to go to the London embassy. Then later on, I had another letter come saying that we sent lots and lots and lots of different people's records, but they all been returned. Then later on, I had another letter come from the Naval Department, from a lieutenant there, War Office, saying that they've kept one, mine. French embassy kept one back, but it could take between 4 weeks and 16 weeks so they could verify it and everything on that record. Then another letter came back later on. I was awarded. The French president was one of the 3. So after all the thousands of people there, I was only one of the 3.
And where did you receive it?
And then I had to go to London. And, you ain't got the photo, are you?
We might have it
here
somewhere.
I had to go to London to get the 3 to be presented. And when we got there in the embassy, that was the other 2 that introduced me here, was a lady. Oh, by the way, I was 94 then. 94 then. This old lady, she was 99, and she came from Bletchley Park, a codebreaker. Then the other gentleman, he was 98. He was from the army, and he was a sergeant, dispatch rider. That was the 3 of us.
Right. Must have been a special day.
And when we were there, because there was all the generals and the French officials, everybody there, War Office a lot. And while we were there, the Commandant General, the head one of all the Royal Marines were there with his aide. And he said, he called me over and said, because the champagne come in then. No, dozens of, no, champagne came in. And he said to his aide, he wanted to come over and raise his glass for me. So his captain came over, he said, he sent me on the wrecker. He wanted to know all about me and who my family were there with me. He wanted to know who they were first. So I said, I've got my daughter, that's the daughter, and son-in-law, they were with me, 3. I said, that other young Turkish couple, I said, they're my 2 grandchildren, the granddaughter, grandson. I said, my granddaughter, she said, well, what do they do now? I said, I didn't know they were coming. I said, I didn't know they were coming, that's a surprise. Because he lives in Wales, and he was the youngest director of Barclays Bank. And he got there. But I said, she said, well, who's the girl? I said, that's my granddaughter. What'd she do? I said, she's a lawyer. She's with the Battleship Police at Wootton Hall, Northampton. She said, good God, you know how to bring them up. That's what she said, yeah. So we all had drinks there together. And this commanding general, the head one, afterwards, he got back. A few weeks afterwards, I had a letter, the big box came, and he awarded me the Royal Marines white sun hat. You know the white topies they wear,
Right.
the big white hats. He awarded me one on behalf of all the Royal Marines as their token of gratitude.
Yeah, because you've kept in touch with the Marines.
Because kept the tradition of the Royal Marines up. Always get that one a little bit better.
And that is that your personal philosophy as well, to always give it one better? You know?
Yes.
Yeah. So Keith, on D-Day then, you know, you talked about the smashing this German Panzer formation.
Yes.
How long were you firing for on D-Day, and how many rounds did you put through?
During D-Day, it must be nearly 1,000 because I said he phoned up to London and he said my 1,000 shell rang a merry chime against a German battery. You had a direct hit, yeah.
Oh, so you hit a battery on the...
Yeah, because we was firing at German batteries.
Right.
Inland, mostly inland. So our troops go forward.
Right.
Because if you remember, Caen wasn't very far from San, and that's got to get Caen, and that took a month to take.
And how long are the range on these guns, on the 15-inch?
Pardon?
What's the range? What distance could you fire a shell?
Oh, felt to make 16, 18 miles.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Up to 16 or 18 miles.
Right. And how close to the beach?
It depends how much cordite you put.
Right, okay.
Yeah, mostly it's, we mostly had about 3 bags. That's three bags of cordite. But say 18 maximum, you want 4.
And where you said you could see through the turret, what could you see could you see things happening on the beach?
So we could see the LCTs unloaded on the beach, the tanks coming off and things like that.
So when you got turned around to go back to Portsmouth to rearm, what happens then? Do you guys get rest then, or do you have to clean the guns? What happens?
When we got back,
yeah, so when you're leaving to go back to Portsmouth to take on more shells,
oh yes.
do you have to, is there a lot of work for you then, or do you get a bit of chance to rest?
We didn't do nothing.
Right.
All he done was the ammunition people, they done the lot.
And do you get to find out, are you told these are the targets you hit? Good job. You know, are you given like a debriefing, that kind of thing, where you're told, this is what we hit, and are you told by your officers, you know, that you're doing a good job?
All they thinking, I think, was get quickly speed, get back to France.
Right. So you got a bit of food, bit of sleep.
No one was waiting.
Right. And can you remember, was there when you and the guys have finished in the turret, in the gun, you and the crew, what was the kind of, did you have conversations about yourself, about what had gone on that day?
No, not really, no. I was more concerned, I think, with, and you know he's running blood and things like that.
Oh, I don't suppose you're in a mood for a conversation when you've
concerned with that.
Yeah, when you've got blood. And did you get looked at by the doctor or anything?
No, nothing.
So it was just kind of expected that this is
Yeah,
what
yes, yeah.
right.
Yes.
I mean, it can't be very often that many shells are fired in
No.
a day from, you know.
I know his phone number and he said, I said, my 1,000th shell, 15th, rang a merry chime against German battery, yeah.
So how many, so this would go on, did this go on for weeks? You'd go down to the beach, you'd keep firing at targets, you'd go back and rearm. Did that go on for a while?
No, it was only there for, I should say, let me think. We was only there for, I should say, about 4 or 5 days. Yeah. We went back to Portsmouth and we didn't know. As soon as we got there, the dockers started repainting the ship again. Yeah. They started splashing, the camouflage. They started putting white and blue on them. I thought we'd going back to the Pacific. Right. Or something, for camouflage. Instead of that, we went back to the Mediterranean.
Right. Okay, and then what was the reason you were sent down there? Why were you sent to the Mediterranean? Why did you go down to the Mediterranean?
Well, we were to South Toulon, wasn't it? South Invasion. Right.
So
South of France invasion.
Right. So you go for this operation.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, we didn't know.
Right.
All we know was we didn't know where we were going. Right. We didn't know until we got to Gibraltar. Right. We started going down in the Atlantic, started going south. Then we got not far from the Canary Islands. Then we knew then it could be the Med. Then we did. We went into the Med to Gibraltar. And when we got there, I've never seen so many ships in all my life as warships. We had more there than what we did, I'd say, at D-Day,
really?
At the landing.
Right. And you said
mostly all American.
You're saying there's a lot of aircraft carriers?
Yeah, then I went from there to, on the 19th birthday then, that was always the 19th, now I went to Algiers on my birthday.
And that's in North Africa, is it? And you were there to take on supplies and?
Yes, that's it. More fresh water.
Right.
Water was the main thing.
Okay. How often do you have to go into port on a battleship? How long can you stay at sea? How long can you stay at sea on a battleship?
Also at least a fortnight. Okay. At least.
Because it was an old model, wasn't it? The Ramillies was a First World War battleship.
It was at the end of the First World War. Right. Yeah.
So what happened on this second amphibious landing in the south of France? What was the Ramillies doing then?
Oh, sorry, our man went to Corsica first, and then from there we went to, as I said, St. Topaz. That was our first gunnery shoot. That's the gunnery emplacements on the front. And that's what we did out at Ardenwood. That's where the Americans' main force went.
So you're shooting at the batteries on that coast?
And we fired after the gunnery emplacements on the front. We started firing inland then, and more German emplacements. What was inland? Because we knew down there, that's where the Americans were going.
Okay. And then when that was done, was that a few days as well, same as it was at D-Day? You had a few days operations and then that was it?
We did that no time off, let's put it that way. Right. We did have a minute off.
So, sorry, Keith.
We had no time off at all.
Yeah, what I meant was you were in action for a few days in the south of France. You know, the sabres.
The only relaxation we had there, that the actual invasion Toulon itself, where we was in, we came out of there in about 2 days, back to Propriana, called a place called Propriana in Corsica. And when we got there, they anchored the ship just off the beach. And they had a port and starboard, that's an onboard ship. Half the ship had half a day off to go to the beach.
Right.
And then the next day, the other half, port, starboard, they had the half to go to. That was all.
So when this Operation Dragoons happened and you fired on these batteries at Saint-Tropez, was that the last time you were in action, or were you in action again after that?
No, that was the last. We were there till almost, I think, to the end of October.
So you stayed off the coast?
Oh, yes. We've done a lot of, yeah.
Yeah. And did you do the same thing there when you're firing to support the troops as they're moving inland? Or was there less need for that? Because in Normandy, you know, the troops, they had a hard time getting inland. When you were in the south of France, was that needed?
Yeah, I think they had an easier time, south of France. Because if you remember, the Germans gave the French government, now what they call something with the government, French
The
government.
Vichy French?
Vichy. They looked after the south of France. The Germans gave them that. But all they done, they had wanted to control gun emplacements. But they didn't take no part in running south of France.
So you smashed those gun emplacements, took them out.
Yes.
So again, saved lives, coming ashore.
Funny about Toulon afterwards, this is funny part of it was we do a lot of cruising, cruise ships. My daughters or family. I think they'd done about 15 cruises, I think, all over the world. And they got me to go on one. And it was the Mediterranean one. I think it was about 14 days in the Mediterranean on a cruise, on the Britannia, the head ship of the cruise ship. And it was Strictly Come Dancing, it was. You know what's on the telly now, Strictly Come Dancing. Well, they had they'd done, well, they're all over the world doing shows, their cruise. And when we got to Toulon, people kept asking, could they go and visit the bridge, what you do? They said, they sat round, no, that's finished. That finished months ago, onto security. Nobody's allowed now to go on the beach. Well, that same night, was on our table for dinner, and as he sat there, in front of me, on my table, was a note from the captain, a letter from the captain. Of course, some of the servants or the waiters there, they knew it was something important, and they started kept going around the table.
So you were saying you were
So they kept talking about, so I opened the envelope. Then I opened the envelope, it says on it, I've still got it, matter of fact. He said, the captain would like to meet you and your family onto the bridge at Toulon. Because the word got round, I was at Toulon.
Right.
And I was going back to Toulon. Yeah. So we did. We met this captain. In fact, I got a lovely photo of him. He's got his arms round my shoulders. He's a massive bloke. I only about 6'4" or something. Yeah, all he's in his boy, got his arms round his shoulders and bridge. Yeah. And
could you recognise parts of on that French coast? Did you recognise places?
No.
I suppose you were in the turret when you.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't recognise nothing of it.
So where did you finish up the war then? What happened to the Ramillies?
Well, yeah, Ramillies then, after we stopped in the Mediterranean in October. Then October, we come out of the American command back into the English command. That means we went back to UK, which we did. We went straight from the Mediterranean, straight up to Scotland, to Greenwich. And that was in beginning of November. But when we got there, the snow was in the wind, it was cold and everything. We just come over there, you know, we had our shorts on and all that in the med. Now we got we're back in the winter, Scottish winter. Yeah, November. And then went from there. We went there for a few weeks, and they said that at the end, all the battleships are finished. He said because the aircraft carriers was more important. So they're going to finish all of that, which they did. So when we flew our pennant, and we flew that, it's a long pennant. It's supposed to be the half the ship's length.
Really?
It's supposed to be massive long pennant from the mast. And then we flew back to Portsmouth. Then I got, when I got back to Pompey, I got transferred back to Eastleigh Barracks. That's when all this other started. That's when he said, "Do you want to be a shooting instructor?" "No, I want to be, what do you call it?" So that wasn't no good. So when I come back, he said, "We're going to send you back to the Royal Marine NCO school for 2 months. But you have to be an NCO to do. Up to a sergeant, you have to go." So he said, "What we're going to do, we're going to lend you 1 stripe." So I did. They lent me 1 stripe. So I could go. And of course I got there, I've done everything they done. And I got a certificate, which Yvonne's got. She's got that. Passed for NCO.
So did you think that you'd end up in the Far East in Burma or Japan or something? Did you think that you'd end up going over there?
Yeah.
Right. So where were you when the...
And then from there, I got another draft then to HMS Cricket.
Okay.
That's another naval bit hard training near Southampton. HMS Cricket was called. And I got transferred there. Only about, I think about 3 or 4 of us, that's all.
Is that a ship or a base?
It's a base.
Okay.
It's a base.
Right.
Yes, and that's where I did slightly more, secret stuff.
Okay.
There.
Right. So you thought that was going to be...
That was when I was being trained more then.
Right.
Yeah. And because we had a little wood there, and I thought it was underwater. And it was like taking like the Japanese.
Right.
Because they had imitation bamboo spikes they'd done. Oh. Now the bamboo, if you slice a bamboo pole, it's razor sharp. And they had these put under the water like the Japs do. Right. So I thought, well, we're definitely going back to the Pacific. Anyway, we done all that.
So they're teaching you how to find booby traps and things like that, are they?
Yes, yeah, so we done the Japanese stuff and everything.
Yes. So where were you on VE Day?
VE Day?
Yeah.
I was on duty, you wouldn't leave it, in barracks, in the barracks.
Oh.
Yeah. I had my day there. We had no entertainment, no nothing.
Right.
Every day was just the same. All our guards and everything were there, the same. That day meant nothing to me.
Right.
I know nothing about it.
So
Nothing.
everyone else was out having a party, you were on guard.
But what they did send a lot of married Marines out home for leave for a few days. But me being a young single, a chap, young corporal and all, only 18, they're the ones they kept
Yeah.
to do the duties.
How did you feel when the war in Europe ended?
Well, I think I was a bit relieved as well. I thought, well, no, I've seen a bit, done a bit. Go back to work now. So I wasn't much to go back to. Only back to boot and shoe again, which I was quite lucky as well.
But you still thought at this time, I suppose, that you're probably going to end up in Japan, was it? When the war in Europe ended, were you still thinking you might end up in Japan at that point, you know?
We did, partly, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't tell us too much at all.
Yeah. And then, so when the war ended completely, then with VJ.
When the war ended, all told, when they got demand, so I don't know much about actual the Pacific now entertainment to VJ, VJ, none of those.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't nothing at all about those.
Right. Yeah.
All I remember is being demand going back to Northampton.
Right.
When I got back, I went back I had to go back to boot and shoe, nothing else to do. But one good thing I done was, I joined the college out here to do evening lessons for boot and shoe. But in the finish, that did good well for me.
So they
I got my certificates and everything there, City Guild and everything.
and that was through your demobilisation.
Yes, that was there. And I was with a series called Boot and Shoe. I was 1,000 worked there, big factory. You wouldn't know it. Yeah. But a massive factory, Boot and Shoe. I was 1,000 there. And I went back into the making room. And in there, such a big room, there was a foreman and under foreman. And this under foreman job was going. I think he was going somewhere else. And this under foreman job was going. And one of their directors came and said to me, Keith, he said, put your name in for it, for the under foreman, which I did. I went before the directors and everybody, and I got it. I was under foreman. I thought, good God, under foreman, a place like this. Then I was there for, I should say, over a year. And then the senior foreman, he gave retirement come. He felt he was a bit ill, and he retired early. And they advertised the job in the Leicester papers, Kettering papers, Northampton, and all the area, because it's such a big job. And again, he said, put your name in for it. He said, you've got nothing to lose. So I had to go and see the board, sit before the board of directors, which I got it. I got a senior foreman job. And in them times, if you was a foreman, everybody in the town knew you were, where you worked, what you done. It was sort of like an important job.
And is that what you stayed doing that for?
That was your one. And then I was there for about, I'd say, about 2 years doing this. And there was another big job coming up in the British Corporation, because it was took over by a big consortium, multi-millionaires. And they brought the whole lot, all the different factories in the country, boot and shoe. They put it British Corporation, they called it. And there was a ladies' shop down Barry Road, Northampton, and all they done was ladies' fashion shoes. And their area supervisor of the whole lot there was going to retire. So they told me to put in for that, which I did. And I got it. So I got straight away, I had 165 people under me. 165. I had 4 foremen and 1 forelady as well. And that's when I was there then until I stopped.
That was 50 years.
That was 50 years.
Yeah, so let me ask you, you never interested in staying on and doing a career in the forces then?
But,
After your service, you didn't want to stay. Like, did they offer you, when the war ended, did you have the choice to stay in the forces if you wanted to?
oh yes. If I'd have kept on the ship, I'd have definitely signed on.
Right.
Definite.
No.
Without a date.
But it's because they broke you up.
But I went into Paris and I was offered different jobs, short jobs. No.
Right. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted, on the big side, the sea side of it. Because then I know I could travel part of the world, which I did.
And you said it was a happy ship.
It was a
cool.
happy ship.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you left the military, you didn't get, because you mentioned your ears and your nose and stuff. You never got any compensation.
No, nothing at all.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing at all. But in time, that did finish.
Right. Right. So, because you mentioned to me, you said your hearing now, you think your hearing suffered because of, being in the turret?
Well, I would not say it did.
Yeah.
I can't say it did really.
Right.
or you can put the blame on something else.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, how about when you left the service? Then did you miss it for a while, or do you know did you?
Yes, I missed the routine. Missed the routine.
Right. And what about the people that you served with? Did you keep in touch with anyone?
I did for a little while. I kept in that one from Kettering, that chap, for a little while.
He's the one you bumped into on the platform.
That's the one I met at Castle Station.
Right. So
The funny thing was, when we passed the duty, that you know, what I call pass the duty, that means to say when you finish all your training, that was in December, just before Christmas. And I was only me and another bloke, I tell you, called Packham, went to Ramillies from Scotland. All the remainder of the squad, I think it was 46 of us, 46 then, they all had board HMS Nelson. All of them together.
Right.
Kept together.
Right.
So that was all on the Nelson.
So Keith, you know, we're 81 years now after the end of the war. You know, when you look back on your service and when you look back on the war, what are your thoughts about it? How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm not really can say that. I've got no hard feelings, and put it that way. I've got no hard feelings what I've done.
Are you glad you did it?
Pardon?
Are you glad that you did it?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yeah.
Wouldn't change it.
To say through that, I've met all these other people. So I was introduced to the royalty, the king, queen, all those.
And you know, do you think that your Royal Marine training, do you think that helped you in later life?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yeah.
What in what respect?
Well, one thing is, if you could do it yourself.
Right.
That's one thing.
Yeah. Well, Keith, you recently had a birthday, so I'm going to move away from the military slightly.
Oh,
but,
you lovely birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Was it 140 cars?
Set for a call we had, yes.
But you've got 100 years of experience on this earth.
Yes.
What's the best bit of advice that you can give people?
I don't really know. All I know about the birthday was they all had a good time, that's what counts.
Right. Yeah.
That Lieutenant Commander came down from Portsmouth. He's the intelligence officer.
Right.
He's intelligence officer, yeah. And he's invited me ready. He said, we've got to be doing Liverpool in December.
Right.
He said, I'm asking you to come as my guest. So we booked that one. And then October the 4th, I'm going down to Exmouth, to Lynmouth Royal Marines headquarters, because their head squad, they're called the King Squad, they passed for duty. And they asked me to go down there to take the salute
Oh, it's brilliant.
with the First Sea Lord.
Oh, brilliant.
That's another one.
So you started your career marching past the First Sea Lord,
Yes.
and now you're
Now
going to
I'm
be
going
in the
back
next.
to stand within, another one.
Brilliant. Well, Keith, thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much for
I
your
do
service.
apologise for me hearing. I do apologise.
I'm in the same boat, believe me. And there's nothing wrong, honestly. It's been absolutely,
for that.
no need, sir. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Because knowingly, my daughter's with me, and when I can't hear, she tells me.
Well,
She's not here.
my hearing is far from perfect, so please, you don't have to apologise. We really appreciate you giving it your time and speaking to us. I wonder if maybe we could. I'd love to if we could take a picture of you with this with.
Take a picture, yeah.
Yeah, or a bit of video. Oh,
I must thank you for that book you
I
gave
mean,
me.
this is just fantastic.
Do you think that's all right?
Oh yeah,
Do
brilliant.
you really?
Brilliant.
There's a sign wooden there, it's in the British Museum. But like one of their guns outside there, you've been there.
You have, yeah.
One of their guns is one of those.
No, I've
Ramillies.
been there, but it's absolutely brilliant. This. Can we just hold it? Can we just hold it?
Oh, sorry.
Facing on? No,
Oh,
I mean
sorry.
it's great both ways, but just so Matthew can see it. I mean, that was absolutely incredible. You've done a great job on keeping hold of everything. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And then yeah, we've got in here we've got these would be your
Oh,
dog
that's
tags.
nice. I want you brought all the galleons up.
Yep,
I've got the Commodore from Portsmouth, Cable 1, Commodore from the that up Plymouth, what's it down, the Warmers, they were there.
Yeah.
Commodore gave me another one. I've got the silver medal awarded. I've got a big picture down, I'm framed, of he gave me silver coin, medallion.
Nice.
So do
We could have a whole
Yes,
museum.
I've got, also brought them off the shoulder.
Yeah.